Hi, my name is Shannon Torres, and this is my group leading report for HSCO 511 at Liberty University. I held my group meeting on July 31st, 2019 at my home from 6 to 7:30 in the evening. This was a one-time meeting designed for the specific purpose of this assignment. I chose to hold my group for an hour and a half. I did this to ensure time for food and fellowship before the formal start of the group. I provided refreshments and encouraged those present to mingle before beginning the session. My hope was that this time of informal fellowship would make each woman feel safe and included. I had 8 women attend this meeting. Several I have been friends with for many years, and with some it is more of a casual friendship. I chose not to have a co-leader present as I wanted to step out of my own comfort zone and lead a group exclusively on my own. The general purpose of this group was to identify issues and concerns for mothers raising teens and preteens. By identifying issues and concerns, my desire was that a social support system would be created to diminish the sense of loneliness and fear that can often accompany mothering through difficult stages. Often women, including myself, feel as if they have no support system and feel inadequate in parenting. To be honest, most women at one point or another feel as if they are failing altogether. Parenting teens is challenging, and having others to listen and give advice can make a difference in the level of confidence that each mom feels. I began the meeting with introductions. Each woman was willing to share a bit of information about themselves and their children. I felt that this time flowed well. Following introductions, I explained the purpose of the group and made clear the focus. I wanted to ensure we stayed on topic as we had such a short time to meet. This was followed by a brief discussion on confidentiality. As we were discussing parenting and some issues that were considered sensitive, I made it clear that discretion was imperative and confidentiality was expected. After each statement I made, I scanned the room for nonverbal clues to ensure each member was actively listening to what I was relaying. I received head nods and verbal agreements from each member before proceeding. Following introductions and expectations, I proceeded to explain to the women that we were going to complete an activity known as dyads. I briefly explained that this would be a time of breaking off into pairs for the purpose of getting to know someone outside of our normal circle of friends. I explained that the purpose behind this exercise was to build a sense of safety and comfort in the group. I chose to use leader-directed dyads. I chose this method because I know each of the women in the group. I paired each of them with another member whom they did not know particularly well before the meeting. I encouraged each pair of women to discuss the ages of their children and any struggles they were facing at the time. I continued as dyads for approximately 15 minutes, but did give a 3-minute warning when time was ending. I felt this helped each pair wrap up their discussion without feeling rushed. At the end of the time for dyads, I brought all women back together to begin discussion. In our textbook, Jacobs wrote about the use of outside assignments. I chose to utilize this technique. However, as this was a one-time meeting, I chose for the assignment to be completed beforehand. Prior to the session, I had contacted each woman and asked that she come prepared with 2 questions and 1 piece of advice to share with the group. I did this to minimize time wasted while everyone thought about topics to discuss. I knew we did not have time for each woman to answer every question. For that reason, I had one mother at a time read 1 question. I then encouraged women who had faced similar situations to answer in a succinct way. For the first couple of questions, I could see some hesitation in the women. It seemed as if they were nervous to share in the group. The third woman asked a question that I could answer. She wanted to know how to navigate having graduated a child living in the house. I shared my answer, and this seemed to make others feel more comfortable as well. I continued to encourage all members of the group to ask and answer questions. When I noticed that the allotted time for discussion was coming to an end, I gave a 5-minute warning. This gave each member a chance to share anything left on their mind. I ended the meeting with a wrap-up time and gave each member a chance to get contact information from other women. At this time, I also chose to hand out a survey so I could get an idea of how each woman felt with the group overall. I was very apprehensive about leading this group. In the past, most of my leading experience has been with teens and younger children. I was nervous to address and lead a group of individuals closer to my own age and stage in life. However, overall, I feel I did well on this assignment. I chose to use a leader evaluation form at the end of my session to hear feedback from each of the members. I wanted to see if my thoughts on my performance were aligned with how members saw me as a leader. For the most part, the evaluation were in sync with my own. I feel as if I set a positive tone for the group. I worked to bring energy to the group and encourage everyone to speak and feel comfortable. Another strength was that I self-disclosed. I was not afraid to state my own fears and challenges with parenting my own children. The members of the group felt the same. I was concerned about the skill of cutting off. I was confronted with the opportunity to use this skill, and I feel it was successful. One member began venting about her husband and was straying off the topic of teen curfews that was currently being discussed. I gently guided her back to the topic by telling her she and I could discuss that issue privately after the group had ended. It appeared that she felt heard, and we were able to continue without too much time lost. One negative review I received was in regard to what I allowed to be discussed in the group. One member of the group was struggling with her son who is gay. Another member let me know she was not too happy with that topic being discussed, as she felt it was inappropriate for that setting. I did notice a shift in the member's body language when the topic was being discussed. I regret now not taking the time to address the issue at the moment I noticed it. I feel I avoided the confrontation because I wanted to let the mother of the gay son feel safe to continue sharing her struggles with parenting a child who has strayed from family values. However, while doing that, I feel I disregarded what were obvious nonverbal signs of discomfort from the other member. In the future, I would like to work on finding a balance so each and every member feels safe and comfortable in my group. Overall, I feel this was a very beneficial experience. It definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone and made me address some of my weaknesses. I feel there are areas I need to work on, such as confrontation and nonverbal body language. Until now, I was not really aware that the way I sit or stand makes me seem unapproachable. I often have my arms folded in front of me. One member anonymously told me that I need to appear more open. I'll be more aware of that in the future. I now look forward to leading another group so I can put into practice all the things I have learned through this assignment.